Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check today's video out. I wanted to do a quick follow-up video on the video I did this morning talking about Bassmaster announcing that they've gotten rid of the entry fees for 2025, because guys, I got a bunch of comments out there by people that they think they know what's going on with the sponsorship industry, with the sponsorship situations with pro anglers, but they don't know what's going on. And I want to sort of clarify and educate people surrounding this entire thing as far as the Bassmaster Elite Series sponsorship end of it in relationship to not having to pay any entry fees out there. So I think there's a big disconnect. So we're going to go over that in today's video. Also, a quick reminder, guys, tomorrow is the last day of the sale of all my Solar Bat Series RB2 and RB3 Series sunglasses. If you get a pair by tomorrow, you can get them at 20% off, including a lot of other stuff on the website. So I'll put my Solar Bat link in the description if you guys would like to pick up a pair of the RB2 or RB3 Series. Really appreciate that. Okay, just like I said in the title, Bass has thrown the Elite Series guys a bunch of lemons here, and they wanted to make lemonade out of it. And what I'm going to explain to that is they announced today that there's no entry fee for 2025, and they were gushing about it, how this is awesome, and this is the next level, and this is what we've been working for forever, professional angling. And they made it sound like it's just the greatest thing of all time, until you actually read the payout, where we talked about the payout earlier. Not only are they not paying down to 50 places like they did last year, they're only paying 40 places. 40th place in the tournament is $500, guys. This is like what you get paid for going to a club tournament. And I think we figured it up, and it's like, even with no entry fee, you're still going to have to get like in the top 20 or the top 25 just to break even after your expenses of traveling and lodging and that type of a deal. So it has turned the Elite Series payout from a money pit into an exceptional money pit with this. There's no way you're going to make any money unless you win the tournament, or maybe if you hit a couple good licks throughout the course of the season. But for most people, guys, it is going to be a money pit of all money pits. Here's the reality of the situation with that. It's like, if you finish in the top 40 in every tournament, which would be a great feat, you'd easily qualify for the Bassmaster Classic. You'd probably be up in the top 15 or 20, in the Angler of the Year. You would win a total of about $3,500 for the season. So here you've got the Bassmaster Elite Series, which is supposed to be the preeminent pro circuit in the world, and you qualify for the Classic, and you don't make as much as some guy that wins a BFL tournament on your home lake after paying a $200 entry fee. It's like, I don't understand how they can put lipstick on this pig. Now, a lot of people, the blowback that I got on this is when I made the comment about, the payouts and how bad the payouts were, despite the fact they had no entry fee. And they're going to say, Randy, you don't know what you're talking about, because now they can take that sponsorship money and they can pocket it, and they don't have to, worry about catching anything, or don't have to worry about finishing the money. That ain't how it works, guys. You guys are disconnected from the reality of it. Number one, not all of them have sponsorships. There's a bunch of Elite Series pros out there that are independently wealthy, and they're footing it on their own. So they're, it's even more of a money pit with that. And then you got some anglers out there that may get a little bit of help, but not a lot of help. And you've got a few anglers out there that get their entry fees paid. But the problem you have with this is that is not a contract that's in stone. You may have one sponsor that says, well, yeah, just, you're still fishing the tournament, so we're going to still continue to compensate you in the same amount. And then you may have another sponsor that says, well, since you don't have those type of expenses, we were trying to help you out, to cover your entry fees. And if you don't have entry fees now, we're not going to do that. So it's not one shoe that fits all in this situation. There's probably a minority of people on the Bassmaster Elite Series that has a sponsorship situation where they get their entry fees paid. Number one, and number two, that is not going to be affected by this decision. So, and one of the realities of this, and a lot of people again don't understand it, is that sponsors, and I have talked to a ton of them, guys, and I assure you, from one of the biggest sponsors in this industry, within the fishing industry, and has been for the past 30 years, they basically say, we don't care that you're a pro fisherman. That doesn't do anything for us. We don't care that you qualify for the Bassmaster Classic. We don't care if you win a Bassmaster tournament. You guys, and this is the exact words of some of the marketing people, you guys are simply social media influencers that just happen to fish. So sponsorships, and I don't care if it's an endemic sponsorship or non-endemic sponsorship, they are interested in the social media exposure through Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. That is where they get the best bang for their buck. That is where you get the most engagement. That is where you get the most impressions. It's not doing good in tournaments. You could go out and win a Bassmaster Elite Series tournament tomorrow, and I could do one video, or any other YouTuber out there with a big following could do one video, and we get 10 times the impressions off of one video as somebody's going to get from months after winning a tournament. That's just the reality of what social media has done to the sport. So in essence, what this has done, what Bassmaster has done, is they've kneecapped the anglers in a lot of different ways here. Number one is they've completely reduced the earning potential from anglers out there. So let's say you have a situation where you got a sponsor that pays your entry fees. So they fork up $45,000 or $50,000 for your entry fees. And but last year, if you made a check, 40th or 50th place check, you'd win $10,000 for that. So if you had a sponsor that was paying your entry fees plus you winning that, you would pocket $10,000, from winning that tournament. Now, since there's no entry fee and the payouts have been reduced, even if that angler still gets that $45,000, subsidy from their tournament, sponsor, they still don't make that much money, because now they have the amount of money that they could potentially earn has been cut in half. So even though they're still getting this $4,500 per tournament, if they finish in 40th place or below 40th place, they're still only making $4,500 instead of a potential windfall of twice of that, as if the payouts were, like they were last year. So they're trying to spin this into something that's a positive for the anglers, and it's not a positive. Here's my prediction on it, guys. You know how Bassmaster changed the rules a couple months ago, where they said, you can get information on the lakes up until the first of the year, and the Bass Pros, as soon as they came out with that, they revolted against it, and Bassmaster backpedaled, and they changed the rule from the overwhelming opposition from the pros. This is probably what's going to happen to this payout thing. As we speak, I've already talked to several of them, and they're pissed. As we speak, I think that you're going to have a tremendous opposition from the pro anglers out there, and you're going to see this basically, there's going to be some type of modification, or it's going to be changed on this. Now, the whole concept of not having an entry fee is great. That's great, but you can't do that and then cut the earning potential of the pros to compensate for not having that entry fee. The way to do it is to court the sponsors, get a strong sponsor stable, and keep the payout the same without the entry fee. If you don't cut the entry fee down from $10,000 from 40th place last year to $500 for next year, nobody's going to be happy with that. So seriously, you could have a banner season on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Like I said, you could finish in the top 40 in every tournament. You could finish high and make the Classic, and you're going to win $3,500 for the year. So that, to me, it just it completely devaluated the whole market value of Bassmaster by doing that, the interest in it. It's like, if you're looking at this sport from a business perspective, and that's how you view this as a business perspective, it's a terrible business investment to even be on the Elite Series. Now, if you're independently wealthy, and that's the way this sport is going, the sport one of the things that Forward Facing Sonar has done is turning this sport into an elitist sport. So if you're in that elitist category where you're independently wealthy and you've got family that backs you with money and you've got a business that pays your way, it doesn't matter, because you're in it for a different reason. You're in it for the notoriety and the fame and the competition. You don't care about the money, but it hasn't always been like that. Bass fishing, tournament fishing, has not always been an elitist sport like it has become over the past 10 years. And with this move that Bassmaster's made here, it's going to continue, turning it down that road there. So Anyway, like I said, my opinion, Bassmaster threw the Elite Series pros a bunch of lemons and said, you guys make lemonade out of these lemons. But I don't, in my prediction, it's not going to go well for them. I think you're going to see a big blowback with this. So let me know what you guys think. We'll talk later.